Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is a public hearing we will have first, and we'll have a special call meeting. The public hearing is to receive public input regarding a proposed 5.4 millage rate, and also on the FY 2019 budget, any comments related to that. After that, we will have a special call meeting in which the council will have the option of approving or disapproving the proposed millage rate and the budget. So we'll have our public hearing first, so I would invite anyone who has any comments relative to the proposed mill rate, and I think we could do these together, or the budget, either one, if you'd like to speak. We'd welcome you to come in and make any comments. This is our third public hearing, by the way, so we've been through it a few times, and those who attended have heard a lot of the same thing over and over again, so I can see why there might not be a lot of input at this point. But we have given the public ample time to participate over the last few weeks, and we have received some input from the public, and we appreciate that. But if there's no one here that would like to speak at this time, I'll go ahead and let our city manager and CFO present this.
We do have some guests in the audience, so I do want to quickly go over how a millage rate is calculated. The millage rate is a number by which each $1,000 of real and personal property is taxed to provide funding for the operations of the city. The Cherokee County tax assessor is responsible for calculating the fair market value of real and personal property in Cherokee County, including said property within the city of Canton. The fair market value is then discounted to a taxable value, which is 40%. This taxable value is then multiplied by the millage rate to determine the taxes due for said property. Below is this equation, and there's a copy of this memo on our city's website. But if James Smith has a home that's given a fair market value of $200,000 by the assessor, and the city's current millage rate is 5.4 mils, then Mr. Smith's home's value of $200,000 is discounted by the 40% rate, giving a taxable value of $80,000. That $80,000 taxable value is then multiplied by the millage rate of 5.4, equaling taxes due to the city of $432. So Joe Smith would have a tax liability to the city of $432 for his property valued at $200,000. Each year, the assessor provides a draft digest of all property values to the city. That's done around May. As part of the draft digest, the assessor shows what the millage rate will generate in taxes to the city prior to any appeals. If the tax digest is higher than prior years, the assessor will show what the millage rate could be reduced to allow the total dollars collected in taxes to remain revenue neutral. This is referred to as a revenue neutral rollback millage rate. Any rate below the calculated revenue neutral rollback millage rate would be a true tax reduction. Likewise, if the digest value goes down, the assessor would provide a calculation of a higher millage rate necessary to capture the same amount of taxes. This is also considered a revenue neutral millage rate. According to state law, if the city of Canton utilizes any tax rate that is different than a revenue neutral millage rate or is not a reduction in taxes, the city must hold 3 public hearings to adopt such rates. One of these hearings must be held before noon, and one must be held after 6 if 2 hearings can be held on the same date. The schedule for these meetings, this is the third and final public hearing. Following the third public hearing, the city can adopt the millage rate. Should the city opt to proceed with the revenue neutral rollback millage rate or any rate less than that rate, there is only required to be 1 public hearing prior to the adoption of the rate. The current millage rate of 5.4 mils is the lowest millage rate the city has had in the last 25 years. Additionally, this millage rate accounts for all city services, police, fire, recreation, streets, municipal courts, community development, code compliance, building and safety services, and administration. In 2017, the city of Canton began a contract with Cherokee County for the provision of fire and emergency services. Canton joined the cities of Ball Ground, Holly Springs, and Waleska in receiving said services on behalf of its incorporated residents. Cherokee County assesses a fire district tax of 3.269 mills to pay for those services. In the cities of Ball Ground and Waleska, the residents are assessed an additional fire district millage rate on their county property tax bills for those services. The cities of Canton and Holly Springs pay a flat fee to the county based upon the application of the fire district millage rate across the digest for those cities. Including the provision of fire services, the area millage rates are as follows from highest to lowest. Ball Ground 8.269 mills, Holly Springs 8.148 mills, Waleska 7.489 mills, Woodstock 6.808 mills, and Canton 5.4 mills. In addition to operating under the lowest effective millage rate in Cherokee County, Canton residents also benefit from the lowest sales tax rate in Georgia at 6%, and Canton seniors ages 62 and up receive a full exemption of property taxes on the fair market value of a home up to $280,000. That's the information about the millage rate. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Young?
I just had a question occur to me that we haven't discussed. You said that the county provides us pre-appeal assessments.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a feel for what difference that usually makes, or do they notify us of after appeals are done, if the difference is, and how much that typically is?
So it's already changed just a little bit.
It's almost always less than 3%.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other
Anyone
questions?
Mr. Ruth?
If we leave our millage rate at 5.4, will we have to dip into the reserve funds at all?
We will utilize $289,000 in fund balance, and we will utilize $279 in fund balance and $1.5 million in water fund transfers. If we did not utilize either of those transfers, the millage rate would need to be 7.1 mills to meet the budget as presented.
7 point what?
7.1.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Okay. Give the public another opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Wilson.
I just wanted to make sure this budget is for 2019 only. We are not focusing beyond that, because I remember someone was saying that, we'll set a precedence and we'll have to do this again next year and the next year. This is for this year only, correct?
It is for the October 1, 2018 to September 30th, 2019. So fiscal year 19 is the budget. And likewise for the millage rate. That's an annual decision that council has to make.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll invite the public again. If you have anything you would like to add, make any comments to this millage rate and or the FY 2019 budget, speak now. Okay, so we will close the public input period now, and we will actually close, I'll entertain a motion to close this public hearing. Okay, Mr. Goodwin made the motion. Mr. Grant seconded that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All members voting for the motion. Okay, and